Alright, quick video update. I am at home this weekend and I have been for about a week. Uh, Stuff is mainly still in Texas in terms of paints and all, but I managed to get a start on some figures here. And I'll be in Boston this next week and then onwards to England for 3 weeks, and then when I get back, should be around the end of, say 3 weeks, about 2 weeks really. I should get back to home around the end of the month, sort of April 4th, 5th, the beginning of next month rather. I land back in the US on the 2nd of April, and then I have to drive I land in Dallas and I've got to drive the dogs back home to Washington, so we looked at about 3-4 day drive there depending on the weather and such. Anyway, quickly thought I'd show you what I've been up to. So I finished this stand of Firelock men. I just did them in reds for a kind of unified look. The trousers kind of vary the colour up, but they're a bit too uniform for to my liking, to be honest. But again, these are really low priority figures. I don't very much like the figures themselves. These are those Warlord plastics, but I think for a quick weekend effort, they're not too bad, are they? I don't really put a lot of effort into the bases. Look okay. I think that really helps sell them as a little base of figures. So I've got another 6 to go Firelock men, which I'll do also in reddish coats. But might vary the colour up a bit. I've done different shades of red, as you can see, so they're not uniform. So yeah, they came out okay. Again, I really don't like the figures. The plastics from Warlord are just abysmal. So but it's done. The next thing on the list here is, next thing is these late Roman archers. They actually started painting these, well, they were basically done, and then they've, in the course of travelling over to the States and not really being finished properly, they got a bit chipped and all, so I've just been basing them up and tidying them up, trying to fix them up so that they are good to go. Managed to get these two or more or less done. I've just got a few highlights to finish up on, and then I've got a guy following along here. There's one there and another one here which was painted from scratch, so he'll go on there, so that's almost done. I have a bunch of Greek hoplites. I've decided to just start painting one, so that's in progress. Then some Spanish, again I've just got some of these based up. Thought I'd have a go using the very limited palette I have available to me here at the moment. So I just did these two Getrati, the skirmish types, javelinmen, so I just started doing those on a whim really. And then I've also, regular viewers may remember some Normans, some New Line Normans. So I've actually got a bunch more figures, New Line, to finish up, and I'm going to chuck in some Wargames Foundry command figures to just kind of bulk out the bases, but those should be on their way soon. Again, I've not got everything I really want to work on here right now, but I figured I might as well make some progress whilst I was home for like a week or so. Again, it's very brief, but try to make hay while the sun shines. Speaking of sun shining, it's actually a glorious day here in Washington, and you might be able to hear in the distance various what do you call it, lawnmowers chugging away. It's because it's that time of year. Everyone is coming back and tidying up the yards and all. Also, I stopped by my friend Francis's shop today because he had a sale on, and I picked up some goodies. Honestly, I was just looking at bargains. I didn't even look at so I looked at some deep discounts. Here's some Russian Grenadiers with command for the Napoleonic period. Again, not something I typically collect, but I paid $6 Canadian for this bag of 24 figures, so be fool not to. I probably won't hang on to that. If somebody needs them, they'll ask. Roman medium cavalry, like I got here. I'm not quite sure what these are supposed to be for, to be honest. I'm imagining it's for Caesar, but the riders, I can't quite tell what like ethnicity they're supposed to be, but they look like javelin wielding. You know what, let's actually have a quick look. The code is CWG2. I'm not sure what range that is with Old Glory, but this was $17 Canadian, which with the US dollar is a pretty decent price. It's, you know, I don't know, let's say it's like $12. So yeah, this is just a guy in a tunic. Not much going on there. They're sort of supposed to be Roman medium cavalry, but they don't look very Roman to me. I suspect they might be like Numidians or something. You know, kind of just based on their uniforms, or rather their lack of. The figures aren't great. Again, Old Glory tend to be hit and miss, and they've got these very large shields. So I'd have to look on their website to see what these are intended for. But again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cavalry for $17 Canadian. Not a bad price really when you think about it. Again, with ancient stuff it's always handy dandy because you can typically a lot of figures that you collect or that you have in your collection will be relatively generic. Or not generic in the sense that their troops are generic, but that the options for deploying them are quite generic. So for example, you know, Gauls, there's no downside to having a bunch of Gauls or Celts because you know that you can use them as mercenaries in many armies, or or as actual Celts or Gauls, depending on what you want to do with them. This is a pack of Revenge miniatures. They are French mounted knights. Again, I got them on a deep discount at $17 Canadian. I have some like 100 Years War era figures, which I was planning to play that Ecosure game with. And I figured I'd just pick those up again because they were cheap. If I don't need them or I don't want them, I will just sell them on. It's not a big deal. I got some Punic War figures. These are Libyan medium infantry. I think there's 24 in a bag. Again, you know, not a super priority, but for $10 Canadian, I'm not going to say no. Old Glory are kind of a weird range. The heads in particular always bother me. They have this weird glancing away head pose, which looks a bit silly, but it's, you know, there are worse things in the world. These are auxiliary medium cavalry. Now, based on the code, it says PRR. I would suspect that that's Punic Republican Roman, but based on their uniform, I can't quite tell what these guys are supposed to be, but they will look like they're wearing scale armor. Here, I'll pull one out. Again, for $10, that's $1 a figure, well, a man, rather, and his horse. But this is what the figures look like, kind of like almost like a scale style. The helmet looks a bit wonky. I've never seen anything like this before. But whatever. Again, you can never have enough Romans. You can never have enough, figures. So we'll just call it good, as they say. I think this is for the late Romans. Let me see. Maybe these are. Yeah, so these look like late Roman, light cavalry, sort of. See if I can get a better focus there. They're not the greatest figures again, but I thought, again, this was $11 Canadian, so for $11, really not a bad shout. Yeah, they're wearing a kind of that sort of late Roman style. Might actually be a representation, because it seems to show that, like, if you look at this, let me show you what I mean. These late Roman archers that I showed you earlier, if you look at the top of their shoulders, you'll see there's a kind of motif where it's almost like around the neck, and then there's those straps that go down. So I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I think it's assumed. If you look at things like Orthodox iconography from the Eastern Roman Empire, you'll often see that it's just construed as cloth. It looks like when these were sculpted, they may have construed that as some kind of, like, almost like a chainmail dicky or something, if you make sense. You know what I mean, like a neck cloth type thing. But anyway, I picked them up. They were cheap. Again, sometimes when it comes to buying figures, you buy them because they are beautiful and they really get your motor running, and other times you buy them because they're just filthy cheap. So at $11 Canadian for a bag of 10 figures, just over $1 Canadian a figure. With a US dollar, that's a great deal. So I just thought I'd buy these things because they were there. And then, as I said, I'm going to be on the road a bit more going forward for the next 3 weeks or so. And then hopefully after Easter weekend, Western Easter weekend, I will be home for a bit. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, just wanted to quickly give an update. Like I said, not much to show really. Got some bits and pieces in progress. Managed to get this base of figures done. Again, what I'm trying to, I suppose, champion here is this idea that even for somebody like me who's on the road a lot and isn't always at home and doesn't have all my stuff to hand, I'm still making some progress, and I think that's the important part, right? So if you are, you know, disheartened sometimes and you feel like, oh man, I just feel like I never finish anything, or I don't have time for the hobby, etc. You just have to remember that, like, at the end of the day, you know, if you can do one base of figures in a weekend, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. You know, find the moments when you can paint, do the hobby, and the important thing I would say is, as long as you're enjoying yourself, no harm done, right? So I'm having a whale of a time. Obviously I wish I had more of my paints here with me so I can make a bit more forward progress, but as it stands right now, I feel like, given that I've been on the road since October essentially, I feel pretty good about the progress that I've managed to do whilst being relatively unsettled. And then of course the other side of things is that just because I'm not doing the wargaming hobby doesn't mean, like as in physically painting, doesn't mean I'm not engaging with it, right? So I'm still reading, I'm still doing research, I'm still planning. I have it like a book that I write everything in, and obviously I'm watching YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff. So you know, the hobby is more than just painting figures, I think. And then of course the other thing as well that's true is, I think there's a lot of competitions for a lot of competition for our time these days, and certainly for me, you know, I do lots of different things. I'm not just, wargaming isn't the only thing I do. So for me, you know, I've got other hobbies as well. I play the odd video game here or there. You know, I have lots of ways of keeping busy, and so wargaming is just one of those things. So again, I wouldn't, you know, don't feel bad if you reprioritize sometimes. I think it's perfectly normal. With the summer coming, I mean, it's coming up to spring now. I'm anticipating being home and the weather getting a little bit nicer. I expect myself to have a little bit of a, or I'm hoping or planning at least, to have a bit of a boost in terms of figure painting and get some more stuff done. But then I know that as the summer rolls along, I'm probably going to spend more time outdoors and less time indoors painting. So we will see, right? And that's it really. Just wanted to quickly send this update and let everybody know that I'm still alive and breathing and having a good time. And looking forward to a little short trip to the UK for work. Sadly, I'm like I said, I'm going to be flat out. I think I'm going to be in, not in order of appearance, but it's going to be Coventry, Warrington area, Manchester, Leeds, and then probably Northampton. There's some cricket going on down there. I think there's a Northampton Cricket Club are playing, so it's just like a friendly or something. I'll probably go watch that. It's a 3-day game, and then Solihull, I think, after that, before I then start heading back to the Heathrow area to fly home. So I'll be knocking around the Midlands mainly, and then a little bit in the north as well. Yeah, I should have a good time. You know. Anyway, I hope everyone else is chugging away and having a good time, and we'll speak soon.